You're truly, truly inspired by the game of cricket. And I think that's why what we're getting into is going to be successful, because we as a company are, well, you definitely have a real interest in it, and you're really rubbing off on everybody else. And the more and more I've gotten to know the game, the more and more I've really enjoyed it. But we started a cricket channel. It's called It's Cricket.
That's
You
cricket.
got the merch on. That's cricket. I'm sorry. I had it written down wrong. You had the merch on right now.
Yes.
I guess.
So we
give
have
the fans why we're doing this and what it's about.
So the show, we have a Trev. His name's Liam Plunkett, Pudsey, handsome, Northern Ireland, World Cup winning bowler for England, and a co-host, Adam, who's from Australia, super fan, lives in there they are. And Adam looks like me.
He's way more handsome than me. This is bullshit.
Yeah, dude, he's a handsome guy, and he's awesome. And Adam looks like me. Has the energy of Jake.
This is like AI, me and Jake, or me. What the heck?
Me and you, yeah. Because me and Adam look a lot alike. People have been joking about that a lot. But hey, hear me out if you're at home right now, especially if you're on the West Coast, because the time zones help you out for this one. If you're, not huge into football, into NBA, if you just really like the pace of baseball, the bat and ball, and the storylines. If you enjoy watching golf or like the Masters, like something that you can really dig into, that's 4 days, or, a 7-game series. And you're like, I wish it was 9. I really like the storylines and the matchups, because the version of cricket that's about to start, it's called the Ashes. The Ashes is, it's like the Masters meets the Olympics between Australia and England. So basically, it's called the Ashes because they play for an urn. That's the trophy. Because you'll love this. The first time Australia went to England, way back in the day, you would do a tour, because you would take the boat, take months to get there, a month to get there. And then you would go across the country playing cricket matches. So you would, hit Northern England, you hit London, you'd hit, all the big cities. So people could see the Australian team play the England team. So they call it a tour still. So Australia just fucking kicked England's ass. But it's like 1880s or something. And the reporter said, our boys are coming back, and they not only did they kill the boys from England, they're bringing their ashes back on the boat. Like, that's how much they killed them, they burned them, and they're bringing their ashes back. So then 2 years later, England goes to Australia, and the writer from England says, we're sending our boys to receive the ashes. And that was the headline. So that's why it's called the Ashes, which is just awesome, like etymology or background story. I love it. So it's every other year. It would be in England for their summer, and then in Australia. So it's in Australia for the summer this year. They play a test match, which is up to 5 days of cricket. And so if you really like chewing on storylines and sport, Russell Crowe was on Joe Rogan recently saying, like, once you watch a full test match and like are into it, you won't find sports like that anywhere else. And it's very true. Like, I got into it last year where I started watching these, and it's like the Masters. You don't watch every ball pitched or bowled. You kind of have moments. Like, I tweeted out, how do I watch test cricket when I got into this? And they're like, the first hour, you got to pay attention, because it's a fresh ball, so it's moving fast. And like, if the batters get out early, it's huge. But if they survive, you're like, oh, strap in. And then you can kind of like have it on the radio while you do your yard work, or just check in. And then you're like, we'll know when big moments are. But the amount of storylines that come out of it, like this batter versus this bowler, oh, here they come again. Like, it's moments. It's like, oh, well, here's Rory on, aim in corner now. Like, this is the tough one. He's struggled. Like, it's just like watching the Masters, I think. We have moments where, like, let's perk in. We're like, okay, I don't need to watch him do, hole 14 through 19.
I think that's why a lot of people are hesitant, because Americans, speak for us as a country, have heard just how long these matches can be. And, I think the way you're explaining it makes it really appetizing to people. Do these guys really hate each other? Because that's what I enjoy. Is there a true, like, sick rivalry?
I think they're friends because of international cricket, but there's no love lost, like, in the field. I mean, cricket's weird because the two batters are in the middle of a circle surrounded by the opponents, just getting chirped and shit talk the whole time. And they have no one else out there. So, like, if you're batting you're surrounded. You're in the middle, and like, gladiator style. So, there was big controversy last Ashes that I did a video on, where they kind of did a sneaky, almost a hidden ball trick-esque, where they were like, that's against the unwritten rules. They call it the spirit of the game. And then they didn't, they were mad at each other in the lunchroom. How it breaks down is you go out, you play for 2 hours, and you break for an hour. You play for 2 hours, break for an hour, play for 2 hours. And that's the structure. So it can be over in 3 days. It doesn't always go the 5 days. But we will be live streaming the first session of the first test, and I'm going to be joining those guys for it. And it's 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, so it'd be 6:30 California time, which is better because I'm not going to be able to watch the next two. Australia time zone's tough.
For people who are wondering, like I was, how do you sail from Australia to England? You start in Australia, you go north to the Indian Ocean, to the Red Sea, you pass through the Suez Canal into the Mediterranean, then from the Mediterranean, you go to the Atlantic.
Yes. Well, the reason baseball fans and cricket fans don't like each other is because that's how they grew baseball in America. Like, cricket was being played here, but it was England's game, and they just got that was their owners or whatever you want to say, Revolutionary War, Ken Burns coming up this week. Check it out. So when baseball started, England used cricket as a lesson in civility. So they would go to all the countries they colonized and owned, and it was like a gentleman's game. And it truly is. They call themselves out all the time. They don't fight. There's no yelling at the umpire. It's more of a gentleman's sport in that manner. And they were like, yeah, we're teaching civility. So the U.S., who was like, fuck you, we're our own country, they developed baseball. And from the start, baseball was a hooligan's game. Baseball was gambling, drinking, beer league was the original of baseball, yelling, spitting as a fuck you to cricket and England. And so from the very beginning, these sports that are so similar, if you like one, you would like the other because it's the same pace of play, the same amount of strategy versus skill versus you can be really short or you can be 6'6" and 300 pounds. It's the same shit. They should be friends and fan bases, but they were born in a rivalry.
It sounds very American to do that. I feel like a lot of the origins of many things in our country start like that. Our role, and I guess quickly on this before we move on, our role in that, or what do you think our role is in the cricket world? Is it to Americanize cricket for the audience? Is it to teach the American audience how cricket's actually played? What do you think the how we're going to do it?
Well, I mean, I just enjoy it. I just think it's good. It's good sports with drama that baseball fans will like because it's slower. So you get more of those reaction shots. You get the what's he going to bowl here? What's he looking to do? Moments where it's really thinking. It's growing in the U.S. I mean, there's been 3 leagues played here in the last 3 months. So everyone is trying to start a league here. There's a lot of cricketers that signed 3-year contracts to come play from the U.S. A lot of guys from South Africa, from Pakistan, from India that signed, come live in the U.S. Once you live here for 3 years, you can make the U.S. international team. The U.S. international team just they beat Pakistan in the World Cup last year, which is huge. Although Pakistan's a little bit like the Mets, they just find ways to lose even when they shouldn't. That's their cultural comparison. It's true. I didn't make that up. People that know both sports taught me who Pakistan was in that way. The U.S. team is going to be in the next World Cup, and they're going to be hosting the Olympics. So I didn't want to entertain people. I'm not in it. I'm not trying to force anyone. I just genuinely think you will enjoy it if you give it a shot, especially if you're searching for winter other sports. Nothing will grow until kids learn it in elementary school. Right now, there's a whole expat community of kids that even born here, grew up with Indian, English, Australian, Pakistan parents that love the game and play. So we do have some youth in the country that are like really making a name for themselves and going to go play internationally. So like we're developing some. It won't be like big unless they teach it in elementary school. Like you just grow up playing kickball, playing softball, and knowing the very basics of baseball, so that when you become an adult and you're like, I want to watch this, you know enough. Where like that's where Americans, especially adults, like you're gonna confuse me, make me feel dumb, and then like I'm not learning. Like I've given up on learning. That's a lot of the way we adults across the world view sports. Something new? Fuck you.
I think social media will help because number one, I will say this. I think a lot of people, fans, sports fans in our country, uh, I'm one of them. I like players even when I was a little kid. And this isn't just because I was a player. Like even when I was a little kid, I didn't really have teams. Like I like players. I like watching these guys who I like to watch. Some of these cricket dudes, the guys that we've met, and I haven't even met some of like the big superstars. I guess I kind of have. They're badass. Like they're awesome. So like if you get introduced to these guys and like their, the way they play, their attitude, the bravado, I think you can get into it that way. Because that kind of got me. We are Americans, so we think we're better than everybody. So I think our sports are the best. You get around these dudes and like they're just as cocky, just as fun, just as talented. And once you realize that, I think it helps you like kind of get into the game.
Baseball, is my number one sport, obviously. Baseball is better for American audience because we rotate innings as often as we do. It feels fast. The main sport, T20, like I do think that it's their fastest version of cricket, and it's the most popular in all the South Asian countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Love it, but it is way slower than cricket as a fan. Like we went to a game in Barbados, and even I was like, you bring people to a movie, and they're like, dude. I'm like, wait, man, they got to speed this up somehow. The slow version, Test cricket, that I'm talking about right now, the Ashes, is very slow. But that is, I think, it's much more like baseball, even though it's drawn out. Like, because you can understand what's going on. Like, you have to get the other team out 10 times. It's a 2-inning game, and but the batter hits until he's out. So he could just rack up ground rule double. 4 is worth 4. A home run is worth 6. If they hit it on the ground, they can run the runs, and he just goes until he's out. So you cannot win unless you get the other team out 20 times. Their whole 10-man batting lineup, you need to get all of them out. So when a team is down like by a lot and there's no way they're going to score enough runs to win, they just try to drag it out and be like, well, we're not going to let you win though. So they just play defense. And you would consider it bunting, but they're just blocking it. But then all the defenders swarm them. So you just have to like bunt this ball, but you have the 9 other players fucking in your face chirping you, and you have to survive. So like that, like the highlight alone gets posted, and people are like, "What is this, a bunting competition?" And I get that, but the context of the game is like, well, holy smokes, this is heightened drama.
All right, everyone go follow That's Cricket. Check out all the social pages. You can tell, obviously, Jimmy's very passionate, and it is rubbing off on all of us.